Stephanie here. Greetings from the Refinery Holistic Training Studio. Welcome to my space. As most of you know, I've been blogging for quite some time, Essentially Enlightened, one word. And that last year, well, year before last actually, I started the Year of Yoga. And I blogged the experience. It started out as just 30 days of yoga and reporting to you how it dragged me out of a very dark place and being very transparent about that. And halfway through, I committed to a year of yoga. And so this past April, I completed 365 days of yoga practices. But some days had many more than that with teacher training that came out of that. Completely surprised and shocking that would have all happened in 365 days. And so I've shared that, and then last week I went live with a yoga challenge that I had from my teacher, and a lot of you have been interested in asking questions, and anyway, it came up that maybe we should have a little challenge as well. So I wanted to call it Yea To Yoga. And hopefully that will add an R at some point, and maybe your Yea To Yoga will come to a year of yoga, just as mine did. And you know what? The journey starts somewhere, and so we're going to start here today. So I welcome you. I'm going to try to keep this short. When I teach classes and when I'm practicing in my own personal practice, I kind of have a little mental checklist of things according to priority that I'm checking in with in the moment of my practice, whatever posture I'm putting myself into. And the first and foremost, most important thing is the breath. And so you'll hear me say this in class, that if you're not breathing, you're not doing yoga, and that is the truth. And so some people say they don't have time for yoga, they don't have space for yoga, whatever it may be. If you can breathe, you can practice yoga, and you will find a difference and a change for the better in your life. And so today's lesson is about the pranayama, the breath. And so what we're going to do is just get in a comfortable seat in Sukhasana. You can cross the legs. You can get comfortable however you can. Have a couple blocks that I'm sitting on. You can put blankets if you feel that need. Just a place where you can feel comfortable to sit on the earth. And then you're going to be able to start to take your attention inward. So once you find yourself in a grounding space, take the attention to the foundation, which is the second part, but we're going to move to it first, just so that we can get that connection of the sits bones to either the earth or maybe the blanket that you're sitting on, just wherever, and ground down. And then what we're going to do is just simply take an inhale in, a really deep inhale, following it in through the nose and down the body. Maybe see if you can reach down to the sits bones with that breath. And then you're just going to exhale, either through the nose or through the mouth, just a normal exhale for you. So we're going to try that again, and all of a sudden you may begin to feel the calmness already take over just by taking the attention to the breath and following it in and out. And then you can start to use different pranayama techniques. Pranayama is just the breathing techniques of yoga. Prana is the life force, and so that is what it is bringing the life force in through the breath and then letting it go. And so we can take that so many places, and we usually do throughout the yoga practice, especially me being a therapist. I really enjoy that benefit of the yoga practice. So what I wanted to share with you was the cleansing breath. So you can take this at any time that you just need to reset in the body. It's an inhale through the nose, and then an exhale through the mouth. And another way, a little trick that yoga hacks is what I call them, that I love to use is the pause in between the inhale and exhale. So I give the disclaimer that if you have any anxiety, I want you to be very mindful through the breath process and see it might trigger some more anxiety. And again, everybody's different, so you'll just have to check in with it. But we're gonna just inhale through the nose. You're gonna pause here, not hold the breath, but suspend the breath just for a moment to let the energy integrate, and then exhale through the mouth. And what that does is it increases the energy in the body. And so really a couple of breaths like that, suspending between inhale and exhale, you could probably skip that afternoon cup of coffee. I mean, really try it and see how that feels. So those are the deep cleansing breaths. And then the Ujjayi breath is the breath that you hear in most yoga physical practices. And so the asana practice is just one portion of yoga. Yoga has 8 limbs, and that's just one small portion of it. And so I wanted to talk about this portion of yoga first and foremost, and really it is breath first in the practice, and the physical practice, and the asana, the postures, whatever you want to refer to them as. But the Ujjayi breath is what sets the tone and pace of the physical practice. And so it's when you constrict or engage the throat and take the inhalation in and out through the nose, and it makes that breath of sound. So you might find this easier to find on the exhale when you begin, but as you get into the rhythm and the pace of the breath, you'll find it on the inhale too. So it's nice to take the eyes closed, find that constriction in the throat, take that deep inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the nose. And so you can begin to feel the effects of the breath the different ones have on you. And you feel that that one is very mindful. It's really hard for your mind to wander and go to all those lists that you have, to-do lists. I know I'm a recovering type A, so I totally understand that. But following the breath into the body, and especially through that Ujjayi practice where you have to have that engagement, it really keeps you in the present moment. And so my kids refer to that as the Darth Vader breath. And it's not, I don't only breathe like that when I'm angry, but in the moments, and if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about, #momlife, that I find peace, I find the ability to find patience, and it's still not even what I want to call patience, but just a moment to pause by using the Ujjayi breath. So I hope that they don't grow up having negative thought of hearing that sound in the breath. But those are just a few techniques, very simple ones. And so next time we'll go probably a little deeper. The next phase is foundation for me, and we'll talk about that a little more. But practice those breaths. So we're going to practice just finding the mindfulness of the breath, following it in, and letting it come out. And then you can practice that deep cleansing breath without the pause in the nose, out the mouth. And then you can do the inhale through the nose, pause, suspend the breath, and then exhale through the mouth. And then you can begin to practice that Ujjayi breath. And then just by sitting, grounding through the sits bones, and strong core and the double S curve of the back, you can even find muscular tension and workout in this. So don't be surprised if you wake up and you feel just maybe a little tight, or just the body signaling to you that you've made some progress, even by sitting and breathing. So I hope you find that helpful. That's the first yoga challenge, so the Yea To Yoga, not the year. We're going to try to make it to the year of yoga for you guys as well. But the Yea To Yoga challenge. So breathing first, always. Much, much love to you all. Legs out.